crooked. Shocker. My head's crooked. Hopefully that's better. There goes Steve, popping off. All right, hey guys. Oh my gosh, it's even more crooked. I need a chiropractor so bad. It sounds like all hell's breaking loose upstairs as well. I'd actually rather be down here. Let's see. Is that better? That's gonna be good enough. All right, so tonight we're going to be doing an unboxing from TCT Crafts. I have not been in my studio much at all since Wreath Makers Live, so this is very impromptu, not much of a planner anyways. But what we're going to do is we're going to unbox the supplies from Melissa at TCT Crafts, and then I'm going to try and make a wreath on the fly because I don't know exactly what's in the box. But if I have to grab some stuff to make an arrangement, that is fine too. Hey Diane, nice to see you too. I feel very out of the loop. Very much. So let's see. I have several things in the box. If I have it in me, I'm gonna jump on TikTok next and unbox. I have so much ribbon. I bought a bunch of ribbon at Wreath Makers Live from, let me see, Creek Road. Creek Roads. Okay, it's Creek Roads. I don't know why I always want to mess it up and say the catalog name. It's just so not helpful. But yes, I have so much ribbon. Fall, a lot of Christmas. I'm very, very excited. But I also have been sitting on this order from TCT Crafts. So I don't know what's in it, but Melissa, the owner, is amazing at curating things. So every time I open it, it's pretty much you can design with anything in this box. Like you probably don't need anything else. All right, so for this month, this box brings bold and elegant. It's a bold and elegant twist on fall. All right, I'm not going to say anything more about what's in here. Hey, how are you? It's Kim, right? Lucia. How's my Lucia? You guys don't know Lucy, but she is the person who keeps me sane. So Lucy, I've not been designing pretty much at all for like a week or two. So we're going to do some unboxing here. I thought so, Kim. I always like to just double check. All right. So Melissa always packages everything up so beautifully. So let's see what she has. Ooh. All right. I told her we're like peony people because the last box that she sent, it had peonies. I still have 2 single stem. Okay, but I was like, we love peonies. They're definitely a favorite. Hey, Tina. Hello in Oklahoma. All right, so this is a bush of the peonies. All right, and these are great quality. I don't know if I have a pricing on this. I don't. I will end up posting all the SKUs after. But, you know, a lot of people love, and customers, they love those Amazon peonies, like the bushes that are kind of like this. But they show up like all wrapped in plastic and squished, and they need to be steamed. These are coming beautiful. So they have some nice little accents on them, some little berries. The foliage is nice for fall. So this is a win. Ooh, we got some deep reds. Okay. So we have some of these burgundy berries. These are really nice. You know I'm a berry snob. Oh, I know. All of Melissa's stuff is nice. Like there is no quality issues there. It is all very well maintained by her. She has the most amazing eye, and she's also just the most incredible designer. All right, then we have, oh, cool. Okay, I saw this. She showed this on YouTube, I think, but this is one of her filler bushes. Okay, and she has this, I want to say, in 3 different colors. And what I like about this, especially if you're newer to wreath making and you want to kind of get that textured look, but you don't know where to start or what pairs. When you get a filler bush like this that has all these different elements, someone's already kind of like taken the guesswork out of it for us. So this has almost like brown eucalyptus, then it has green and red eucalyptus, it's got berries, it's got, I want to say these would be like thistles, and then a couple little flowers. So I forget what the other colors are. I feel like it's purple and something else that I thought could work for Halloween or Christmas. So yes, that is great. And she gave us 2. So Melissa just had her first grandbaby, Juliana. So she is away right now, enjoying time with her family. And oh my gosh, the baby's so cute. She's so tiny. So tiny. It's always a win. Okay, this is awesome, guys. Okay. This is something I have not seen before and will absolutely be getting more of if it's not already sold out. Okay, so I don't know what kind of plant this is. Let me see if I can take a quick guess. Because this is beautiful. It's got those orange lanterns on it, and it's got the most beautiful foliage. So this foliage can like definitely set the mood when we're doing some fall designs. I think it's, oh, fall lantern spray. Yes, okay. So again, tons of texture, but really like bold colors, okay? Because you can think about how this is going to pair with like some aubergine, that dark purple, that plum, maybe some bright pops of color as well. All right. Another great spray. So I know I like to use a lot of ficus. I know a lot of people don't like the ficus. So if you're looking for, you know, ficus's fancier older sister, this would be it. Okay, so this is much more elegant than the ficus that I use. And you can still get at least 3 cuts on it, maybe even 4. But these kind of look like tea leaves. I think it's a green birch leaf spray. Right, and if you are interested in any of these items, you can go to tctcrafts.com, and with promo code KARA15, you save 15%. And like I always say with girl math, you could also just buy 15% more. All right. See the second one of this. And oh my gosh, I already forgot what it was. It's birch leaf. Goodness gracious. All right, a second one as well of our orange lanterns. I like doing this because I kind of like just having to design on the fly without being able to plan. It's like a little like challenge. I mean, this is why I do what I do. I geek out about things like this. Like to me, this is a great way to spend a night. But I think it's like challenging. I mean, granted, she makes it a little bit easier because everything in it is already coordinated. But I never know what it is. I never know what the vision is going to be until I open up the box. And so this is going to be something very nice for fall. Lucy, you love your girl math. You can also do real math. I'm glad you're my friend. Okay, this is a showstopper right here. So we have, can you guys see how like luxurious this is? We have burgundy pumpkins, or pumpkin. Then we have like the rust burnt colored orange. And then look at this foliage. Holy cow. And it's got an acorn. It's got a little floral piece. So whenever we get sprays like this, we definitely want to fan everything out, okay, because we want to get the most out of it. But we could cut this up in a bunch of pieces. Or, you know, I always say if you wanted to kind of do like a shortcut, like say you have a craft fair coming up, or, you know, you just kind of want to do something that's not as challenging. You know, like sometimes I feel like challenging myself, and sometimes, you know, I'm like, just get her done, Cara. So what you can do with things like this, when you have a spray like this, is just take them and you can put them on your wreath, okay, and just bend them, which is probably what we're going to end up doing. But you could also use this as like a swag. You could make a tablescape with this and just fill it all in. So it has nice thick stems, so you would just zip tie it, you know, in like the center and on the ends, and like there you go. Hot, like this alone, this could just sit on your table or on your mantle. Ooh, a fall mantle, this, ooh, that would be nice. My mind is thinking. All right, and then she gave us some gorgeous ribbon. Farrah silk, as we know, is the creme de la creme. All right, so we have this beautiful rust-colored velvet from Farrah silk. So gorgeous, right? I'm kind of, I wish I had a swag pulled, because honestly, I'm trying to think if I can get to one quick. I actually think that would be really, really nice. Let me think about this for 1 second on how hard it would be for me to find a greenery swag. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I promise I'll give up quick if I don't find one. I know where it is. Hang on. All right, so we're not going to use like a pine swag, but let's use a, it is the jackpot. Hold on, I had some other swags that I put on my mantle, because I don't think I want to cut these girls up. All right, so let's see, we've got a magnolia, just to give it a little bit of a backbone underneath these pieces, okay? So let's see, we have one. I think one's gonna be enough. All right, so I'm gonna shut off my glue pot, because you know when I'm doing things like our mantle garlands, I like to use just the little zip ties. All right, so these are just 4-inch zip ties, and that way you're not like married to it. So, you know, every year I feel like for Christmas I have a different like theme or something different I want to do. And when you're working with certain materials, like especially pine, because it melts with glue, you don't want to damage it. You want something that you can keep transforming year after year. So, let's see how I pull this off. Unscripted as usual. All right. We know the journey is always part of the fun here, right? So we do not need our easel. We do not need our wreath hook. All right. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. I mean, I really have like some seriously stunning ribbon that I'm like sitting on right now. This is one of them. I got this at Wreath Makers Live. This thing weighs a ton. Like I could conk somebody over the head with this in self-defense. It's so heavy. It's super, super beautiful. All right, so we're gonna use, this is just a cheap magnolia spray. I don't even know where it's from or when it's from, but it is going to be the base for our design. And let me see, I think I even have some of the laurel leaves from last week. And even some purple if we want it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just start to cover up the greenery and just kind of make a nice sturdy base. And who knows, maybe we'll even use these peanuts. Oh, yes, we are. Not even a question. Okay. I know. Sleep with it by my bed, Lucy, just in case. Okay. So normally I would be cutting down the stems for our foliage, but I am going to use them to our advantage for this design because this is not super sturdy. So what I'm going to do is, this is a 6-foot magnolia swag, I believe. So I'm going to just lay this over. And actually, I got to back you up because I'm going to be working on my table. Or I could lower you. Oh, let's see. Lucy, you've picked like the most unscripted, unplanned thing. So, okay. There we go. Creek Road ribbon. Yes, thank you very much. I am so mad that I keep butchering that name. They are the nicest people, and they have the best ribbon there. They're the only place I shop for ribbon at with Wreath Makers Live. And I got some good stuff, and I swore I wasn't going to, like we always do. But, as Brittany said, oops, I did it again. So I came home with, I had to actually like be one of those people at the airport, like sprawled out trying to like move around weight in the bags because my bag was over the limit with the ribbon that I bought. But it was worth it. All right, we gotta reset the stage here. All right, so I'm going to be taking my first stem of foliage. I'm going to be putting the thick part of the stem right underneath, and I'm going to secure this in a few spots. This is going to be the backbone of this garland, and what's nice about it is when you do it this way, can you guys still see, or is it too close? I think it's still too close. When you do it this way, it could also make a really nice tablescape because it's not going to like flip over. I'm gonna have to warn people, like if you have motion sickness, this is not the live for you. Greg and Michelle, is that I think they're husband and wife, right? Super nice people. And I got to meet my girl Lindsay from Tarnation Creations, which we are going out to TMI Gifts. Kayla from Sweet Girl Co. is going to be like picking us up at the airport. It is going to be a crazy girls trip, a weekend in Mississippi. Never been, very excited because as you know, I love the ladies at TMI Gifts. Lindsay is just a riot, so I'm not even sure I'm prepared for her because she said she's got games already played, like prepared. So I'm a little intrigued, a little bit afraid. All right, so I'm just gonna go and secure this in a few spots. And I'm using 2 different color foliage, but it's gonna be okay because the one that we're using from her already has these colors in it, and we're gonna just spread it out. So it's all gonna look balanced in the end. Move this up a little bit. It is going to be an amazing time. And I know TMI Gifts is doing an open house, which is going to be fun. I think it starts at 8 in the morning though. It's very early. Different when you have young kids and you're getting them off to the bus stop. Like, those days are over. I like to sleep until like 7:30. But it'll be worth it. So yeah, they're opening up the showroom on Saturday, September 6th, which they normally don't do. It's going to be from 8 to 4:30, and we're going to be there. We're going to be doing some designing live. I don't know what we're going to be doing. I think we're going to get to like go through their warehouse and just like pick things we want, which I am so excited about. Yep, we have Misty from Little Luxuries NC is going to be there. Very excited to see her. And then, of course, Lori from TMI Gifts is going to be designing. And we're going to see Tiffany, who's been doing those graphics, which the graphics are hysterical. Like, she just gives us, like, instructions, like, can you just, like, sit on a spinning chair and, like, hold your favorite tool or whatever. And then all of a sudden, she, you know, comes out with all of these football images. I think it's hysterical. Yeah, it is going to be so fun. They are like warning me though about how hot it's going to be. Is anybody on here like from that area? Because I mean, I know like I can deal with heat, but they're like warning me specifically, and I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And I guess like there's not a whole lot of flights from the airport because I'm flying into Alabama, and so the flight that I take home is like as close to a private jet as I may ever get. It just has like one row has one seat in it, and then the other rows have just 2 seats in them. So it's a very small plane, not like a scary small plane, like a cool one. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, if you're on and watching, let me know where you're watching from. Lucy, I don't know about you, but I had to make hot tea this afternoon. I was so cold, and I turned the heat on for like just a few minutes. It was just so rainy and raw, and I just was not ready for it. As much as I complain about the heat, I guess I complain about all of it, I guess. Humid. It's humid already. You had a fleece on. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I have had a sweatshirt on all day. I was still cold. Had a blanket on while, like, on my lap while I was working on my computer. I was just not ready. I do love when it's, like, cool nights here in New Hampshire, where you have, like, a hot day, and then at night it cools down. You can, like, do the fire pit or, you know, something like that. Relax outside. All right, so I'm going to put these peony aside for now. I kind of think I want to use those for like a really nice arrangement. So we are going to go in with, let's see, we have our birch leaves, which we're going to do first. Okay, because what we want to do is we want to layer texture on top of texture. Okay, and that creates visual interest. So the example I like to use is when I last time I went to the museum, there was a painting of like a woman, and it was beautiful, but like I just walked by it. Like it was like something you should stop and you want to take pictures of or you really want to study. And this I was like, oh, it's nice. And it had like I think it was like a navy or burgundy background. But then when I walked by it, the background turned black. And I was like, how did it do that? And so then I kept walking like towards it, away from it. I looked kind of crazy, but I was like, I couldn't figure it out. Like it was something that my brain needed to process. I still don't know how they did it, but when we are designing, we can kind of create that same feeling where, you know, it's not like a Marshall special where you look at something and you're like, all right, Martha, we get it. You know, it's something that you're adding unique accents to, and it makes people want to actually like take a moment to look at it and say like, okay, so this is thistle, this is eucalyptus. Like, we have the ability to do that, and that's really one of like the special things about handmade designs versus manufactured, because manufactured, they're not going to spend the time or the money. They want to do something that's quick, something that's easy, and it's probably not going to be made very well. Sherry, you're saying humidity. You were in Mississippi or Alabama, Kim? Kim is in Kentucky. It's been humid today with a good breeze. You gotta appreciate a good breeze. Just reminds you that, like, it's not gonna stay like this. All right, so I'm gonna start layering on our birch leaves, and I'm super excited because I was thinking about decorating my mantle for fall, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And oh, Melissa heard my cry and came out with this. All right, so this is basically going to be about the center right here. Okay, so we're gonna, for this, we put our 2 pieces on the ends, and now we're gonna work our way from the inside out, just to make sure everything is covered. We have our nice foliage in place. So again, I'm just using these green zip ties. You could definitely glue it, you know, and if you are selling this to a customer, you might want to do a mix of zip tying and then maybe some gluing and then just making sure that the back is all cleaned up. But for this purpose right now, I am going to just use the zip ties. And that way, when I get a whim and I want to do something totally different, I can still take all of these elements and they're all unharmed. Ready to be used again and again, which is also what's so nice about permanent botanicals, because now they look so real. So being able to use something, whether it's the flowers themselves or a design, you know, you get years out of them. I've had people order some sympathy arrangements over the last year, and I think it's a great idea because, you know, for like if everybody gets like all sorts of live flowers, like sometimes the fragrance could be too much. It also could be something that they have to maintain at a time that they just are not, you know, they're not in the mindset to be taking care of, you know, dish gardens and making sure the water stays up and all that stuff. So I think it's a great alternative, and it's a lasting one. Was anybody on here? Did anybody watch Wreath Makers Live or go? Because that was so much fun. But like I was like emotionally, I don't think I like barely talked for a couple of days. I am like what is it? I'm an ambivert. I'm an introvert and I'm an extrovert. So I like a little of both. But like for that event, you're like extrovert the whole time because there's just so many people and you only have so many days to like get to see them and hang out with them that you don't want to like waste it. All right. It scares me when I start touching the screen because all these things are coming up. All right. Yeah, it was so fun, and I loved being on stage with my Wreath bestie, Ashley. I rewatched it, and she nailed it. I mean, I know she's good. I watch her on Facebook, and, you know, she's my Wreath bestie. We talk. So I know that she's charismatic and all those things, but she, like, knocked it out of the park, design-wise, and even just her presentation was just phenomenal. And her outfit was on point. On point, that one. I struck gold with my Wreath bestie. And I'm sorry that she's taken, everyone, but I am never giving her up. Sherry's in Texas, but you're in Georgia, and the humidity is crazy high. Oh, yeah. Iris, how are you? Nice to see you. I don't know what hours. Like, I feel like I see you in the morning, and now I'm seeing you at night. I love it. I'm usually going live during the day, but I really, like, just felt like getting down here. I really have not been designing much, and I missed it. And honestly, from being at Wreath Makers Live, when I came back, there were, like, spiders in my workshop. And they, like, basically owned the place. They were not afraid of me. It was awful. All right, we're going to go in with these orange lantern sprays, which, I mean, again, these are stunning. Okay, and whenever you're working with a product that has just this paper wrapping, you can easily just pull it apart, okay, and make as many pieces as you want. You want to get the most out of your materials, so whether you snip them or you rip them apart like a savage, like I am, you know, I'm going to get 4 different pieces at least from this one spray. You've been sick this week? Someone else is telling me they've been sick, and I'm like, I feel like you shouldn't be sick in the summer. Like, you should be able to enjoy it as much as you want. Winter, I'm like, yeah, people have colds. They don't stay home when they should sometimes. I was watching some reality show, which is shocking, I know. I think it's like Next Generation or something. And it's a lot of like the Real Housewives kids that are grown. And one of the girls doesn't wash her hands because she feels like it makes her immune system stronger, which in a way I'm sure that is true. However, she like touched the bottom of somebody's shoe and then like touched her eye and like was not fazed by it at all. And I was like, oh my gosh, that seems like you're going to have like pink eye forever. Oh, your husband. See? You want your husband to bring you flowers, not a cold, Iris. Come on. And I love your name because it reminds me of my dad's side of the family, because my dad's mom's name is Violet. She went by Vi. And then her mom's name was Ivy. So it was Ivy Lane, which every town has an Ivy Lane. So you betcha when I was in high school, we stole a street sign and gave it to her when she was like in her 90s. She thought it was hysterical. But yeah, whenever I hear like names that are flowers, I just think it's so pretty. Iris is a beautiful name. All right, so again, I'm starting from the inside and I'm working my way out. And I want to try and match these up. So like this has the lanterns on it. So I want to find the comparable piece, which is this one right here. So you want to know your cuts. As you get to work with things more, you get to learn or be familiar with what you can expect on it. And I'm just layering like zip tie on top of zip tie. And all this is going to do is make this thing that much more structured. Zip ties are like God's gift to women. They're like men have duct tape, women have zip ties. And I think we got the better end of it. I love zip ties. Okay, I'm just fluffing as I go. We're gonna do a final fluff definitely, but we do wanna just get a sense of how much airiness. And as I'm putting this on, I wanna make sure they're kind of overlapping a bit. We have enough of the product. If we didn't, we could definitely space it out, but again, we got a lot off of just one stem of this, so I'm gonna just have it kind of overlap just slightly. So what have people been working on if you are designing? My workshop is having like an identity crisis because we're doing like some things for Christmas and then jumping back for fall. Like it's hard to pull out some Christmas stuff and not all of it, or like have glitter out here when you're working with fall. So yes, it is a little bit scattered in here. But yes, back to my spiders, which I don't want to talk about because I hate them, but because I'm really afraid of spiders. When I got back, they were just like in plain sight, so I decided I would like vacuum and like just kind of like disrupt them. And so I did. I moved all of my bins of florals, all that stuff, and like I have a day bed here, and I went to fluff one of the pillows, and one of those spiders was just like sitting there like he was waiting for me, like, I dare you. And oh my gosh, I like flipped out because I'm like, I have to get it, otherwise I'm gonna wonder where he is. Like, he'll be plotting his vengeance for the rest of my existence. So I had to get him. Didn't like it. My daughter's the same way, which is terrible because I really at a young age, tried to raise her to not be afraid of spiders, so that she would kill them for me. But she's like, oh, if you wanted that, you shouldn't have been screaming. And I'm like, fair point. I couldn't really control myself. I'm very, very afraid of them. So now she's very, very afraid of them. It is a magnolia garland. So Iris, this is totally not what I planned on doing. So we did like a live unboxing from TCT Crafts. And so I just thought I would jump in and do a wreath. But then I saw the materials and I'm like, ooh, I really want to make a garland for a mantle. It could also be for a tablescape, either one. But yeah, I just took an old magnolia garland that I had. People were on hold. There was just nobody here. I was like running around trying to find it. But it will do the trick. So are you feeling better now, I hope, Iris? All right, so we've got one end done. Let's put this last one back here. I am so excited, guys, because the pumpkin, like Iris, so if you're late, you don't know what like we're working up to. Okay, so let me show you real quick. And I'm going to go back and snip some of these zip ties. If they're not in the way, I'm not going to waste time doing it right now. But, Iris, look. Look at how gorgeous this is. So we're going to put this on top last. So, I mean, just to get a sense of, like, where we're going with this, okay? This is going to be, like, such a luxurious piece. And we still have all of these other things to go before we even get to our pumpkins. Now, Ashley did a beautiful, beautiful wreath with this. So she got, I believe she got the same kit, I think. I know a lot of it was at least the same. So she made the most gorgeous wreath. And actually, she made it a kit. So if you went to tctcrafts.com, if you were getting Ashley's kit, I would use promo code Ashley15 because that's the work that she did. And if you are watching this and there are any materials that you want to purchase, you can save 15% with promo code Cara15. But again, if you go on to get Ashley's stuff, definitely give her the cred. All right, so we're going to go in with these 2 bushes of texture. I don't even think I need any of these extra things that I pulled. It's amazing. I knew you'd like it, Iris. And I'm glad you're on the mend. Now tell your husband to bring you some flowers because he owes you. I know, Kim, I am geeking out. I want to enjoy the process, and I am enjoying the process, but I also really want to see what this looks like at the end and put it up on my mantle. And I'll take photos for you guys tomorrow because I love fixing up my mantle. I feel like it's just, like fireplaces, it's just such a nice focal point of a room. All right, so again, anything wrapped in paper, I'm just splitting this up as much or as little as I want. So some pieces I'll keep together, some pieces I'll separate. I'm just gonna separate them into kind of like piles. And this is brown. It's almost black, this eucalyptus, which I think is very, very nice. I think it's very dramatic. And you know we love the drama. All right, so I'm gonna pull this one apart too, because again, I'm gonna start from the middle. I'm gonna work my way out, and if I wanna make sure everything's balanced, I wanna make sure that I'm mirroring things. And the best way to do that is to just take one material at a time and put it in and then move on to the next. All right. I know. Thank you, Lucy. I can't wait to see it either. So I'm going to start with some of our more basic greenery here in the middle. So let's start with our red and green eucalyptus. So this is again this is 2 of them, but this was all in one bush. All of these different types of textures awesome for Melissa at TCT Crafts. It's not wholesale, so anybody can purchase. You don't need, you know, a business license or anything like that. And her products, she's very careful in what she purchases, and it shows. So there's nothing that she's buying that she, you know, isn't up to snuff that she wouldn't use. And if you've seen her designs, they are just stunning. Her grandbaby Juliana is gonna, I can't even imagine what she's gonna be surrounded by. I'm picturing a very decked out nursery for her. All right, and I'm just keeping the stems long, and actually for the thicker parts, I'm just gonna move with a brown zip tie. But the more stem we're putting on here, it's just the more of a backbone we're gonna have. So we're not gonna end up seeing it anyways. So I'm just gonna keep layering it on. I kind of want to use this after. I want this to really pop. Let me put this aside. All right. And now we have a lot of these red berries. And then these are like a stilby almost. And they're kind of more of a burgundy. Berries are red. This looks more burgundy. And then it kind of gets deeper from there. So I'm going to put these more towards the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna go with thicker on the inside, and then our design's gonna kind of dissipate. So we're gonna put, you know, on each one it has one of the pieces that's bigger than the other. Nope, okay, so it's like these two, and then these two. So let's use the thicker piece first. Okay, I'm just gonna secure it in 2 spots. And then I'm gonna repeat on the other side so that it's nice and balanced. Just going back and forth. The brown zip ties are good because they're gonna blend in anyways with this project. And I'm gonna space these out just so we have a little bit kind of wherever the eye travels, it's gonna pick up a little bit of these textures. Again, going in with that visual interest. So yes, TMI Gifts is doing their free virtual event. The actual virtual event is going to be on Sunday, the 7th of September. But it's going to be really, really fun. I cannot wait because if you caught the Christmas in July, it was so fun. I met online. So many different designers. And like, this is one of the things that I love about what we do is that everyone has their own way that they put things together. And it doesn't need to make sense to anybody else. It's just what makes sense to you. You know, that's how you do it. And that's like your workflow. And I just always find it fascinating to see how different we all work. That's when you know that you are the secret sauce because you do things in a way that other people don't. And maybe they think their way is better, or if you're like me, I don't care either way. But you do what feels good to you because that's what makes your work unique. All right, the only thing I'm going to say is I didn't space this out as much as I should have. I'm going to move this down a bit. We're so lucky at Wreath Makers Live. Ashley and I were sponsored by Surebonder, which, if you are into designing, then, like, to me, they are the best. So, like, this thing's cold right now, but my glue pot, or glue skillet, my glue guns, like, they're the only brand that I buy. Their glue pellets are phenomenal. If you don't catch things before they, like, fully dry, it's very hard to pull them out. I do sometimes use Gorilla Glue too, but I will say that Surebonder is definitely my favorite. Let's see. And they sponsored it, and so they gave everybody in there, in like the swag bags, we all got the glue rope, which I love the glue rope. I think I'm going to start using that at in-person workshops, because then you're not like reloading your glue gun over and over again. And with my favorite tool, which is the glue gun that has a cord, but you can also use it cordless, you can take the cord and plug it directly into the glue gun, or you can just leave it off and then keep putting it back on the base to charge. You need a new glue pot. Yeah, mine, I want to find out how to clean it. And I know people have ways of doing it. I know some people wait till it's like kind of warm or it's kind of cooled down, and they use like a credit card to scrape it off. But I've never found a way, like, I want it to look like new. Because I also have the Grace Monroe version, which she is pink. And I promised I was going to make her, keep her beautiful. But just like our crafting areas, or just like our studios, nothing stays clean for long. Like, not if you're productive. If you're clean, you're probably not working. Because for me, I end every week with like doing like a vacuuming and all this stuff, and first thing Monday, everything is a mess again. And that's okay. And that's why it's hard. Like, that's why so many of us get the talk, which is like when you have your stuff all over your family's house and like you can't get to the kitchen island, or you can't eat dinner at the kitchen table until it's like been cleaned off. It's hard. And it's hard to have to pick up your stuff every time. Like, at the end of every day, you don't want to necessarily clean up, especially not 100%. You know, some organizing, yeah, but I dreaded when I had to do that, like when I worked in the kitchen. And so then I worked up in the office. I eventually got evicted and got moved to the basement. And at the time, I was like, ugh, do I want to be in the basement? But you know what? Having all my stuff in one place was like the best gift. And that's before it was finished. It was just a regular old basement. You know, I did my best to make it look homey. I had, you know, one of those sheets in the background. I had my shelving units, or the metal shelving, and like, that's all you need. You don't need all the stuff. It's nice, but it's whatever you're gonna work best in. And also, like, there's different stages. So we all start off somewhere. It's probably, again, in your kitchen. It just seems to be the natural starting spot. And you never know where you're gonna end up. You never know where your journey is gonna take you, because I definitely would never have thought that I would be able to present at Wreath Makers Live, get to hang out with Julie and Damon and his crew. I mean, it was really cool being able to see things from like the inside, and to get to see Ashley. Like, so Ashley from Three Little Greenwoods, when I saw her, like, the first thing I said, I'm like, you're so tall. She's 5'6", but like, I don't know why. I was 5'3" 3/4", but that seems to be on a downward path at this point. But she was taller than I expected. I'm like, you're so pretty. She's beautiful. And her mom was there, and she was the nicest woman as well. So I got to hang out with Anne quite a bit. And my baby girl came down with me as well, but she was hanging out with friends. So I saw her at night, but it was still fun being able to travel down there with her. It's fun getting to share these experiences with your loved ones, right? All right, so what are we thinking so far? Do we see how this is filling out? I know it's kind of hard to see like the whole picture. Okay, but we're leaving the center kind of empty right now, because that's where our focal point is going to be. And we're going to be cleaning up our zip ties, but you can already see like all of these colors. Like, there's some vibrance to it. There's going to be some depth to it. I'm loving it. Ashley honestly is very sweet. She's also very funny. She's not like boring sweet. Like she's a riot. She's a very strong woman. She loves her family. She loves her work. She's very driven, and yeah. But it is funny because like we talk about this all the time, but like the way people talk in the South versus here, it was like a learning curve. Just like when I joined the coaching team for Wreath of the Month Club, now Everbloom, like they're using terms like VBS, and I'm like, what is like I'm like taking notes like VBS, and it's Vacation Bible School, which means like, I guess in the South, maybe up here too, I don't know, but like moms end up doing a lot of like crafty things, you know, like you kind of have to figure out how to make things, and like with pool noodles and all that stuff, and so like that was VBS. So I was like, okay, just taking notes here, guys. I always thought bless her heart meant something sweet. Nope, it does not. It is not sweet at all. Which I think is the funniest thing, because I was always like, what a nice thing, bless her heart. I'm like, nope, it doesn't mean what I think it means. It means the opposite of what I thought it meant. And like the y'all thing, I wish we said y'all up here. I don't know where it stopped. Like where up the coast did it stop? Because I feel like you say y'all, let's see, Georgia, the Carolinas on down, I think is y'all territory. So it must stop at like Maryland or something. Geography will never be my strong suit, but I feel like that must be probably the next area. All right, so now we're gonna go in with our super dark eucalyptus. And I want this to show just because it's gonna have that level of depth, and it's also really gonna be a contrast to the other colors, having such bright, you know, oranges and yellows, and then all of a sudden you've got this deep tone that's like pulling things in. Like that's where like the mood is to me. It's not all just one note. All right, put it in here. And I feel like if you saw this on your own, you'd be like, ah, it's kind of weird, but it works so well. And I don't really see it in many places. You know, with Joann's gone, may that store rest in peace. If you had a good Joann's near you, which most people didn't, but if you did have a good Joann's, it had some really, really nice quality things. It was very hit or miss though. So it was nice in Nashua. We had like a really big store. I have to take a chapstick break. We had a really big store. And so you actually got to see in person like what was nice and what wasn't. And yeah, they had a lot of great quality things, and then fell in love with her, and then she left. And I don't think Michael's is all that great. Hobby Lobby, I would say, is probably the best one out there right now. Not that Michael's is bad. I just feel like things used to be, I feel like it used to be a bit more like involved, their floral department, than it is right now. I mean, they're absorbing Joann Fabrics, like the sewing piece. They do a lot there. I mean, maybe too much. It's like you can get your balloons filled. It's a UPS pickup. It's a lot. All right, so this little fluff. And let me see. Okay, so I'm not putting these in yet, though I want to. But this is going to be our center. You know what? I am going to put them in now. The moment is here. The Creative Honeybee. My parents are from Kentucky. So you get the best of both worlds. Now, does your southern accent come out like, does it slip out when you're happy, or is it just like sometimes it slips out? Because it's kind of hard to like unlearn or like try and train yourself to have a different accent. Or, you know, sometimes you just get exposed to it too, I guess, right? It's not even an intentional thing. Okay. Obsessed with these. And I'm not going to do anything. I already fluffed these up. And I'm going to have my pumpkins pretty close, but dare we put in these peonies? I feel like the burgundy one is a definite, but I'm wondering, you know what? I'm going to put these back to back. That is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space for those. And I just want to make sure this is centered because when this goes on the mantle, this would show if we're off center. Everyone else does. Oh, you had a Joann's too, yeah. I mean, I had known of like the antiquated Joann's for so long that I was like just totally blown away. And it was such a nice store and it was so underutilized. And it's like a lot of things, like when you see, you know, businesses closing, it's like people don't necessarily come out and support until it's like too late. All right, so I am going to I'm doubling these up and I'm gonna just put a zip tie on them in several spots. See, and this is great because all of this stuff can get used again. It can get repurposed. So like this magnolia garland, I like to have pieces like this on hand because they're just a good backdrop. Like they're not meant to be the star of the show, but they're like a nice supporting character. So, you know, when you have those in-between times, like when your Christmas tree comes down and your mantle comes down and all of a sudden like everything looks bare, it's nice to just have like some eucalyptus or magnolia garland just to spruce it up and put a little bit of life back into your, you know, your space. Because I like to take my Christmas tree down pretty quick. Like I like to put them up early and then at some point I'm just kind of like ready to get everything cleaned up and like back to the way it was. Kim, you said, are you in Kentucky as well? And yeah, going in between the holidays for fall and Christmas, like Christmas with the glitter is very hard to go back and forth because you can't be selling fall things with glitter in them. But also like you end up covered in glitter. It's a season that you really commit to. Oh, I am in love with these sprays. So yes, I will definitely be posting in the comment section. I'll either do it tonight or tomorrow. But if you go to TCT Crafts, you can get these and you can save 15% with promo code KARA20. And oh my gosh, you will not be sorry. I promise you. These are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we're going to use the peonies from the last box, which the last box, I don't know if it's sold out, but so much of what we went through in that box last time sold very quickly. It was a huge hit, and it was mainly like there was the single peony stems, and then there were also the peony bushes, and they were just stunning. So in this box, we also got these like very pale cream-like peonies, which I think would be perfect for like a dinner centerpiece, even like a wedding centerpiece. Glitter. Yes, sparkles. I did say glitter. My girl Lucy loves anything that sparkles. Lucy herself sparkles. She's amazing. She puts up with me on like of free will, so you know she's amazing. All right, so I am gonna see how much do I have to cut this actually. I'm in just a non-committal mood here. I don't think I really want to cut anything up. So I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing all along, which is I'm going to run the stems under. And then I'm just going to zip tie them throughout. So everything's nice and secured. And then we still have some berries. This was a great box of stuff. I'm telling you, the foliage for this is perfect because you could use it in any type of design, whether you want to keep it traditional, whether you want to get a little bold, a little moody, you know, having again like the bright colors mixed in with the deeper tones. They just play off each other so nicely. And like these velvet pumpkins with the rust colored pumpkins, again, like just beautiful. I get so excited when when these kits come. That's why I was like, I need to get down there because I really want to know what's in it. I don't know him. I find out the same time that you do what she sent. Hello. Oh, Reckless Creations. Watch out. I wish YouTube had sound so that you could be talking right now, because you probably know Ashley from Reckless Creations, but she is hysterical. And when she narrates things, I am like dying. I'm trying to think of what you were talking about when there was that, I think you did a craft show at a high school, and I don't think they gave you like a lot of space. And oh my gosh, you were just so funny about it. And I feel like you had a cat that was recently just like at your house. You live a good life, Ashley. You live a funny life. I love it. Like whenever I'm looking at, you know, like who I like to watch and who I want to learn from and things like that, like I always need somebody with a sense of humor. I don't have the attention span. Like if somebody doesn't, it's okay. Everybody has their own style. But I love people that can just like have a good time and laugh at things, laugh at themselves. So I feel like Ashley and I we were fast friends in that aspect. She is one of the best. Yes. I believe there was some cuss in there, Ashley. I do recall. You're like, this tiny space. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. Because we all know that we've been put in situations that we weren't expecting. You know, like you think you're going to something and you think it's going to be wonderful, and then it's like insane. I did a craft show once at some type of like athletic dome in New Hampshire, and I was like, oh, this is great. It's a huge venue. It did have a huge space, Ashley, but when I tell you, it had some weird vacuum seal. So in order to go in and out of the building, there was like an exterior set of doors and then an interior, and they both had to be closed, or else the dome, I think, could like collapse. I think it was like somehow like not an inflatable, but kind of. So what would happen is all of these vendors would be shoved in between these two doors, and you had to wait until as many people as could like possibly fit squeeze themselves in there, and then you go out, and it was a nightmare. It was so hard to set up, so hard to break down, and I was like, I just will never do that again. It was rough. It was a rough go. Yes, there were some bombs thrown there, but I also don't blame you. Sometimes, you know, things up know what it's gonna look like. And even them, they're doing the best they can. They don't exactly know either. So let's put some of these berries in. And I just want to make sure something that's going to cover up in front of these florals. So I might end up using some of that laurel from last time. But these are so nice. You know, it's hard to find good berries. I think it's very, very hard to find nice berries in stores. I mean, they don't have to be wholesale. Like TCT Crafts is not wholesale. Craft Outlet, TMI Gifts. Like, but they need to have that like nice coating on them. Otherwise, I feel like they're really made to be in indoor or covered spaces. And if that's what you're designing for, obviously, like, then it doesn't matter. I like to design for the elements because in New England, the weather is so erratic, and I just don't have the energy or the time to be pulling things like in and out, in and out. All right, let's see. Let's see what it looks like to you guys. This will be better. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Diane. I did not know what to expect. This was very, I mean, I appreciate anybody who like just sat here with no one here while I ran around and looked for a garland. But I'm like, this is just too good to pass up. These pumpkins are just too good. I couldn't, not that they're not worthy of a wreath, because they are, but I'm like, I saw them and I'm like, they need to be on a tablescape or a mantle. Now, Ashley, when are you on TikTok? Because if my energy level, if like I don't turn into a Nana or a pumpkin soon, which I don't think I'm gonna, I think my afternoon tea may have given me the caffeine I need. I am gonna hop over to TikTok to unbox my ribbon because I have so much from Wreath Makers Live, and then I ordered a ton from, well, I say a ton, but I think it is a lot. I ordered a bunch from TMI Gifts, and it's been so long that I actually don't even really remember what's in there. So I want to check it out because I'm going to be designing a kit soon, and I should be doing it already. And I'm pretty sure some of the ribbons that I'm looking at are already ones that I've like purchased. So I just want to see up close. Let me get that glue pot out of there. I wish I had like, you know how Damon has like a front porch, you know, like in the background, so like they can all decorate and have it look like how it would look in your house. I wish I had a mantle. I think that would be like so perfect because you can't really see the full scope of this. All right, so the question is though, do we do something with the bow, with the ribbon? Because I don't know if I want to take away from like the natural look of it. But also like, oh, wouldn't this look so nice? Okay, yeah. We're gonna use some ribbon here. How we're gonna use it, we'll wait and see. Actually, you know what? Tammy Hodges at Wreath Makers Live. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can channel her. She had such a great technique for making these loops. Because I always am in awe of people that like, they make these like perfect loops with a thin ribbon. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I paid attention. So she said something like, okay, again, this is Tammy, this is not my recipe. She kind of like makes a head. And then I think she said she twists the neck, maybe? Oh, I feel like there's another step here. And then gives it a kick. There we go, okay. Oddly, that like makes sense to me right now. Okay, so Tammy Hodges, when she does her loops, okay, I learned this from her at Wreath Makers Live. She twists, so she thinks of it like a person. She twists the neck, okay. Then she has it do a kick, and then this is like the back leg, I think. I hope I'm not botching that too much, but I'm gonna throw a zip tie right around. Actually, I'm gonna use brown. Even though it's bigger, it's gonna blend in more. Tomorrow you'll be back in action. You went live today twice. That can be ambitious. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, and then you go to do it and you're like, I feel like I've already talked about everything to myself out loud for a while. Like it can be a bit much. Did you go live on TikTok twice or did you use a different platform? All right, I'm gonna make 4 of these. And I guess I should probably somewhat measure. I should have measured before, but. I do not want to waste any Ferricil ribbons. Let me see. Okay, so per Tammy, twist the neck. I feel like I should watch how she did it again because I don't think I'm doing it exactly right. But she twists the neck, fluffs her up, kicks the leg, and then you could either fold this backwards or you could trim the tails. Let me see. TikTok, yes. I think we all just find like our comfort on different platforms, and then once you're there, like I never go live on Facebook, and I don't know why, and I don't do it on Instagram. I guess well, okay, so I'm basically saying I teach in groups on Facebook. Are you guys kind of the same size? Good enough. I'm kind of thinking like this. And like this. I am like totally like just making stuff up here because I do not know how to do this. Which actually I think is fun. All right, I'm gonna secure this way. You got a lot to chat about. I bet you do. I bet. Plus you got young ones, right? If you do, then you can't predict how any day is ever gonna go. All right, so I am gonna fold up these ends, okay? Because you can either, well, hold on, maybe I lied. No, I'm gonna cut them at a diagonal. Like the backing on this is nice, and it's not satin though, or like shiny, so it could go either way. One, Mary, and she's 2. Then you're busy. 1 2-year-old will keep you very busy. A 21-year-old will keep you busy too. Yesterday, Lucy, I don't know if you're still here. And I'm not testing you to see if you really want to stay on here, but my daughter and I got salads at Sweet Greens, and when she was like eating it, at the end she's like, oh, my throat feels funny. It's like I feel like I have something stuck in my throat. I'm like, eat ice cream, and she's like, no, it just feels like weird. So she left, and then today it was still bothering her, and it turned out like there's some you're here, Lucy, there's something that she had to go to the ER for. It was like this long, and the doctor doesn't know what it was. He called it a very thin, fibrous thing. So we don't know if it was like something food related. Like Riley was thinking maybe like the rice wasn't like processed the right way or something. Whatever it was, they needed to take like a surgical clamp and remove it. And so when I tried to get in touch with someone from Sweet Greens, and I hope they know I'm putting them on blast because I don't care, you cannot get a person on the phone. They gave me a bot. So the bot, I was like, my kid went to the ED, call me, and it still gave me like bot answers. You can't get anyone at the store. And so finally, like, you could email customer service. I know. And customer service was like super cutesy, like, oh, our people are busy making salads. And I'm like, I need to know, like children aren't going to be choking on this. Like, someone needs to know that there's stuff in the food that's an inch long. Like, if it hurts a 21-year-old, what's it going to do to like somebody younger? I was so mad. I am still mad. They were like, we'll give you a refund. I'm like, I don't want a refund. I want to know that, like, you're not there's not things in people's food. You're there to eat healthy. Like, the last thing you want is that. All right, I'm going to do another one. This is very much on the fly. This is not my strength. Lucy, like, you know how I am. you know how I like, there are numbers, there's websites, I think it's called like pisscustomer.com or whatever it is. I could not, you cannot get a number. I called corporate and it only had their like privacy policy. There was no one. And so even right now, they have their risk management team following up, but they were like super fixated on a refund. And I'm like, I'm like, do you want a refund, the hospital copay? Do you want a refund or the parking? Do you want to refund the shift that she missed from work because she was in the hospital? Oh, so mad. So no more sweet greens. Would have been better health to eat at Wendy's. It's like, this is what we get for eating healthy. Very disappointed. Very disappointed in any company that can't take time to talk to their customers, which maybe that's part of like being a small business owner, is like we love talking to our customers. And at some point these businesses, like they don't give the attention that they should, because then they're going to lose people. Seriously. Like if they gave me like $1,000 gift card, I would be like, no, I will donate it. Or I definitely would never go back to that same location. And Riley's like, the funny thing is like, she's like, when I picked up the food, there were like 3 managers at the registers. So I'm like, okay, but nobody can get on the phone, like no matter what the circumstances. Oh, so annoyed. I will send you photos, Lucy, because it's like, it's so weird. Like it didn't look like she thought it might be plastic before they pulled it out, but like the doctor doesn't even know. He's like, he can't figure out what it is, because it kind of is like bendy like grass. So, I mean, I guess it's better that it's something food related than like packaging, but still disturbing nonetheless. Never a dull moment, Lucy, you know? All right, and then I'm gonna come in. I know I always do some zhuzhing after this because I don't always have the best point of view. And I feel like I might end up putting, oh, you know what? I might actually figure it out right now. See, Ashley, I know you know how to do this too. I know you'd be whipping this ribbon around and be done with it. This is how I learn. A little at a time, figuring it out. But now that I'm doing it, and after seeing how Tammy did it, some people just make things look so easy, and she just made it look so easy. But I don't want to block my pumpkins because they are the star. I guess we can have our tails down, but we don't want to block it with the loop. Thank you. It's always so fun, like when you get to connect with people, like especially in this industry or this field or whatever, because I think that there's something to be said for people who, like, one, if you're an entrepreneur, there's that. 2, if like, you thrive off of creating. And like 3, you're figuring things out that you never, ever in a million years thought you would learn to do. Like I never thought in a million years I would touch computer code, and I barely do because I know I would ruin my website. But the reality is like sometimes I have to go in and like ask ChatGPT, because ChatGPT will do that. It will give you the code, and you get to, at least on my website on Shopify, you can reverse it. I mean, I wouldn't get too in depth with it, but you can actually get ChatGPT to give you code for whatever it is. Like, I've been trying to fix my font. ChatGPT hasn't been able to figure that out yet, but it is pretty amazing what it can do. I kind of run everything by it, which I'm glad I wasn't raised with ChatGPT, because I feel like you kind of are like, I could figure this out, or I could ChatGPT it. You don't want to do that like too often. I feel like that's gonna be a mistake as well. All right, so let's see. Let me move this around. Oh my gosh, guys, like, I don't have the setup to show you how pretty this is, and in my humble opinion, no, the pumpkins are super, super pretty. Do I want to do like 2 loops? Okay, I'm going to do 2 loops right behind the florals, and then I think I'm going to call it because I don't want to really distract from anything. Again, TCT Crafts. Oh my gosh, Ashley, I've already forgotten what I was talking about. Oh my gosh. You have to remind me. That's literally like when I'm just talking. Oh, Diane, I'm so glad you love it. Yes. TCT Crafts. Again, you can find all of these items there. You can use promo code Cara15 and save 15%. Oh my gosh, Ashley, seriously, what was I talking about? I have people come back. Oh, ChatGPT, thank you. I use it sometimes for my posts. Like you kind of have to have, I like to at least come up with the concept and then see what it comes up with. But I don't know if you've ever tried to like continually like have it solve the same problem, because what happens is it almost like short circuits. It gets like worse and worse. I tried to have it make like a visual for one of my workshops, and it was going to be a workshop at a brewery, and all I wanted was like a few women like with a beer with some wreaths and flowers, and it had like these women like they had like 3 beers each, and I was like, yeah, that's not the vibe. So then I like told ChatGPT, like, they're not all alcoholics, can you take some away? And it just, the more I asked it, like the harder it got for ChatGPT. I had to start over. See, Ashley, if I had ChatGPT, I'd be like, what was I just talking about? All right. All zip ties here, no glue. Anything can be repurposed. This ribbon is so gorgeous, and whenever I get to thank Melissa because she spoils me with this ribbon, it is so worth it. It is so beautiful. All right, so I'm definitely going to be following up with some mantle photos tomorrow with some natural lighting. But look at this, so unexpected. I am impressed with myself. I was so ready to make a wreath. So the back of this, I'm definitely going to secure it more. But again, like I didn't cut any of the stems because I wanted it to be nice and stiff. Okay, because this could also just totally be your tablescape. The only thing that would like be changed, I think, is you would just want to make sure you have something on this side so that, you know, guests on either side of your table kind of have like a great view. But yes, this is a beautiful set, and we didn't use them tonight, but we will be going back to using these peonies. So they're like a super pale blush. They're almost cream, but there's like a little bit of peach in them. All right. So thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you guys for keeping me company. I do think I'm going to rally, Ashley. I think I'm going to go over to TikTok because I got like a ginormous bag of ribbon from Wreath Makers Live, and then a very heavy box from TMI Gifts. So I know it's filled with goodies. So thank you guys for watching. Lucy, you're so kind to be watching because Lucy does finance. I don't know if she wants to be watching this, but she's just that good of a friend. So I love her, and I'm very lucky to have her. So, all right, guys, I will see you later. And again, thanks for keeping me company. Hey, Amber. Amber, I'm going to go on TikTok soon. So if you're up for it, we're going to look at ribbon. All right, bye, guys.